Hello, Merced College faculty. I am your current program review coordinator, Jennifer Mendez, and I would have loved to have just sent you Edward's fantastic video on how to update and check your course mapping in eLumen. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, our college website has been updated and changed, and so getting to eLumen is slightly different. So I hate to follow up Edward's fantastic video, but here goes my best effort. So first you need to log on to eLumen. So for there, you're going to go onto our website and click on faculty and staff. This actually hasn't changed much in terms of where the eLumen link is. But now you're going to have to scroll partway down to the second set of blue links, or the second list of links in blue, and there you see eLumen course program and outlines. That's the one you want. And then you're going to log in with your Merced College login, the same one used for the portal. So now I am in eLumen. So to look at your program map, you have to be in the area coordinator role. And typically we had reserved area coordinator roles for lead, but because this made it difficult in terms of SLO assessment, we've kind of expanded that out, and most faculty members now have area coordinator rights. If you do not, because you're a new faculty member or something, or because things changed as we reorganized with the schools of, you can give myself or Saheba an email, and we can actually change your rights in there and give you the area coordinator role. So you want to be an area coordinator, and then of course you need to take a look at the program that is your designated expertise. So I will go in just for demonstration's sake, and I will go into the political science. So now I'm in area coordinator role at the top, political science, and you would think you go into curriculum for curriculum mapping, but you know, it's eLumen, so most of the time it doesn't make sense. You actually need to click on SLO and assessments, and then in here you'll see one that says curriculum map. That's the one you want. Okay, so here's where things get a little complicated, because you actually need to map twice. The first mapping that I'm going to show you has to do with mapping your SLOs, your individual course student learning outcomes, to your program learning outcomes. And that is needed because when you put your SLO data into eLumen, at the end of a cycle, we suck that data up into the program review, or what eLumen calls the strategic initiative. We call it the program review. But that SLO data is sucked up into the program review or strategic initiative, and it gives you that generated aggregated data statistical number in terms of how well your students are doing with the SLOs that are linked to that particular program learning outcome. So if you don't have anything mapped, then essentially that SLO data is just sitting in there, but it's not being looked at when you do your program review. So let's do that first, right? So I'm in the political science. That's great. Current terms, great. But notice here under programs it says none selected. So here I want to go to political science. Okay. So when you pull up your program, any course that is part of the program, whether it be a core course or a general ed course, is going to be listed. So here is where things get, it really just depends on your preference. I know Edward, for example, really suggested or preferred that all related courses to your program be mapped up to your program learning outcomes. And for some programs, I think this makes actually perfect sense, right? Because maybe, for example, you're a chemistry program and there are math classes that you need to see how well students are doing in those math classes, and you need to figure out, if they're not, maybe that is related to how they're doing in chemistry, right? So you may want to, in fact, map those. I know for political science folks, we've decided that we really, in our program review, we really only want data in there that is related to the political science courses. So you'll notice here we've chosen only to map the SLOs. So like Poli-Sci 1 here is the SLOs, and we've mapped them to these program learning outcomes. We've not chosen to map like Math 10 or History to our program. So you want to go in there and decide, again, as a group, which courses do you want to be mapped up to your program learning outcomes, which here you can see them. Let me pull this up a little bit. At the top of the screen here, right? Those are program learning outcomes from political science. So you need to decide what courses do you want to map to your program learning outcomes, and then make sure that those courses are course SLOs are in fact mapped. All right, so that is mapping for your program to SLOs. Next, we need to make sure we're also mapping our courses to the GELOs, or general education learning outcomes. Okay, so for that, I'm going to go no program selected. And here it says core PSLOs. I'm going to change that to GELOs. Okay, so now I'm in political science, I'm in mapping GELOs, and so now you'll see at the top here, my program learning outcomes are no longer listed. Instead, we're getting the GELOs, right? The general education learning outcomes for the college. And so again, you're going to want to go down. Here you can see econ, geography. These have all been mapped, right? But in particular, I would want to make sure, since I'm in political science, that the political science courses SLOs are mapped to the GELOs. So again, two different types of mapping. The first, SLO to program, and the second one, GELO to SLO. I hope this makes sense. We, us, Heba and myself, would really ask that at the beginning of every semester that you go in and check your mapping as a group and make sure it's all like it should be. And that's because, eLumen has a tendency sometimes to have quirks and things sometimes are lost, as the automotive program can tell you. Or maybe you changed your program learning outcomes or your SLOs, right? Maybe you got rid of some SLOs or you added new ones. And whenever you do that, then you're going to need to go back and remap. So at the beginning of every semester, first cohort meeting, that's what we highly suggest. It really shouldn't take you but a couple of minutes to run through your programs and take a quick look as a group. It also makes sure that you are also thinking about the mapping as a group rather than putting it all on the shoulders of one individual. So that's all I have for you for this video. Thank you and have a fantastic semester.